Hey friends, welcome back. From today we will start this section, and in this particular section we will talk on annotations with reference to XML configuration. And for doing so, I have taken this particular program from one of our previous lectures, in fact, where we have seen dependency injection with reference to constructor. Now let me very quickly walk you through this particular small, sweet and simple program. In this particular program, we are calling the show status method with reference to status object, and we are getting this object by taking help of this my insurance bean. Fantastic. So now if we check this my insurance bean, which is inside this beans.xml, then we can easily see that this my insurance bean is dependent on class bike insurance. Moreover, this particular bean also have this constructor argument which is based on this offers bean, because we are using this ref attribute, and this particular reference is for this particular bean whose ID is offers. Alright, and what is the class for offers? Class for offer is this offers class. Alright, so I suppose you guys are getting it. If I quickly summarize this once again, we have this bean whose name is my insurance, and we are making use of this particular constructor argument, and we are passing the constructor argument based on offers class. And in fact, we would be passing a object of offers class as an argument of the constructor. Now in order to understand this particular program, we need to now check this offers class and this bike insurance class. So if we check this offers class, which is on offers.java file, in this particular class we simply have this one method whose name is getOffer, and this simply returns a string, and the string is get 10% off on next purchase, which is pretty simple. Now if I now check the bike insurance, we are passing in offers object as a constructor argument, right? So we will firstly check the constructor, and here is the constructor. How we can get the constructor? The name of the method is exactly same as the name of the class. Alright, so inside this particular constructor we are receiving offer. This particular object would be injected by Spring's framework, and by using this particular object we are calling this getOffer method. In fact, even if I get rid of these two line of code, which were in fact auto generated by Eclipse, so we will get rid of these two lines. Now even if we get rid of these two lines, even then there won't be any issue, because we are making use of this particular object which is directly injected by Springs, and we are not using the global variable offer. Alright, so that's one small little thing. Now if I now execute this user.java file, then the output would be get 10% off on your next purchase, and then the output. And why this particular offer and why this particular output? Let us again check this real quick. If I now check this bike insurance, then firstly the constructor is getting executed. This is the reason why we are printing the current offer, get offer, this particular line. And once we have done printing this particular line, we would be printing this particular line, because we are also calling the show status method right here. So we are calling the show status method as well. So this is the perfect output, and we are making use of dependency injection. Till now we know this particular fact already. We are simply checking and refreshing our previous knowledge. So now in here this particular constructor is better. Now in here this particular constructor argument we are So now in here we are injecting this particular class inside this constructor argument, which is good. There is one more thing, we can also skip using this particular line and even our code can run with the help of AutoWire. As if now if I get rid of the constructor argument and try to execute this particular program will definitely crash. Here we go. So there is a crash and we cannot execute this particular program. So what is the crash? No such method exception. Now moving forward, if I navigate to this beans.xml and navigate to this beans, I can highlight this my insurance bean, and here we have this drop down for AutoWire and I can say AutoWire constructor. As soon as I do this and save the beans.xml file and navigate to source, then we will see this particular argument which is added. Definitely you can also type in this particular argument in here by hand, which is perfect, but I'm making use of the GUI option, which is a faster way. Alright, so now we are asking Spring to check. So now we are asking Spring to check whether there is a bean which can be injected automatically in this particular bean to satisfy all the need of the bean. So now if I again execute this particular program, this time way around we can see that this time there won't be any crash and the program is executing perfectly. Why? Because now Springs is scanning the Springs is now scanning all the remaining beans which are available in there and checking whether any of the bean can be injected automatically inside this bean or not. And while scanning, Springs found that this particular bean can be injected and our need can be satisfied. And as a result, Spring will inject this particular bean into the my insurance bean and our work would be done. So this is known as auto wiring. Now friends, Springs is automatically making the decision of adding or injecting this particular dependency, right? So this particular thing is automatic. This is the reason why the name is AutoWire. But as there is no manual intervention, what happens if there is an ambiguity? Alright, so this is something we gonna check and discuss in our next lecture, where we will dig more into this concept of auto wiring. I suppose I have made myself clear. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.